In this video, we're going to break down the backside Miller flip 180. This trick is super fun, super casual, and it's one of my all-time favorite tricks. And that's because it looks good and feels good with minimal risk to the body. And it's probably the easiest of the Miller flips. So if you want to learn backside 360 Miller flips, I'd highly recommend starting here. There's a few key points that we're trying to hit on every single one of these that differs from a backside spin. The most important thing is going to be the hand placement. We really need to make sure our hand is touching the snow while doing this trick, because this is going to be what goes and stops our rotation and stops our flip axis and lets us go and pull our feet back down to the snow. If you don't get this hand placement, you're just going to land on your face and it's not going to look very cool. So let's go and talk a little bit about that and then give you all the other secrets behind making this trick work seamlessly and easily. So the first thing is going to be the setup carve. We want to do the same setup carve as a backside spin. So that means we're trying to aim our board, our hips, and our upper body towards the right corner of the jump. The reason why we're doing this is because we need to make sure that we're keeping our spot forward in front of us as long as possible. And this becomes really difficult once you go and start overturning or closing your front shoulder. If we were in this position here and we let our toe edge dig in too much and get angle going this way, that's going to make it so just in this neutral position, our shoulder is already closed off to the jump. And that's going to make it impossible to keep the head forward. And that's going to be one of the main keys to success here, is keeping your head forward in front of you. This is true on normal backside 180s, but it's really crucial here. It's really natural when trying to do a Miller flip, especially if you're used to trying backside 360 Miller flips, to go and try to spot your hand. But when you go and do a Miller flip, you're actually trying to keep your spot out in front of you towards where you're going. And this happens for a few reasons, but basically it makes it so instead of needing to go blind and looking around your shoulder in order to see, it lets you just pop up, see down, and it sort of makes it so you're like doing a handstand downhill, allowing you to keep your vision straight in front of you the whole time. And this is where all the spotting and control comes from. So see how my head is going and walking forward, holding that forward position throughout the full trick. I'm hardly moving my head at all, instead moving it around the rotation of my body. So this is why we want to make sure that we're coming into the jump just like we would a backside spin. And how you go and do it is going to change. Slushy conditions, sketchiness is going to make it harder to do a clean carve. But basically, we're just trying to open the board, open the hips, open the shoulders towards that corner, because that's going to give us more range of motion to throw our spin. And that's going to allow us to go and keep our spot way more forward. Once you get in your toe edge, this is going to be the biggest change from a normal backside spin, and that's how low you get to the snow. A really important note I'll add to this is the kickier the feature, the less low down you need to get. But because this is such a flat roller, I need to generate all the pop out of my tail, and I also need to go and get enough pop in order to get the rotation to get back to my feet. And because of that, I need to lower myself a lot. But if this was like a high wall, think about like trying to hurdle over something low to the ground versus something high. It's easier to place your hand on something that's going to be up there more, and it's easier to spot something going forward. So I would highly recommend learning this trick, not on a feature like this, but something with a little bit more kick and a bit of a steeper drop off is going to make it a lot nicer. But what we're trying to do here is just get as low to the ground and try to get our backhand placed on the snow. We're doing this while trying to keep the base of our snowboard as flat as possible. The only way to do this is by squatting on your legs and having your upper body come forward. And this is going to be really crucial here. We don't want to round in our spine to go and put our hand down, because if you round, it's going to make you too top heavy. So it's really important to squat down with a straight back while doing this position. Straight back, lower your legs. You can't really lower your legs past this position on a snowboard with maintaining power and keeping your body over. So this is the limit of how much bend you really want to put in your legs. Not quite 90 degrees. So I would highly recommend, before trying this trick, to just go right around the mountain, try to enter this position, try to go and hold it, and try to just get your hand on the snow. While you're doing that, try to keep your spot forward. If you can go and hit any portion, even a little bit of uphill, anything, just the duration of time that you would need to be on your toe edge for going off the feature, that's going to be a massive help when actually going and trying this trick off a feature. It is going to be harder, especially downhill or flat. Like I said, it's easier the steeper up the thing's getting, but it's still worth playing around with the motion before actually trying the trick. A crucial part of this trick is the hand positioning. Your hand positioning should be as natural as possible. So here, my hand is aligned with my back foot and it's right by my head. This is happening because I'm keeping my shoulders squared off and I'm not going and having my arm extend reaching backwards. Instead, I'm just having it come straight down naturally. So this hand position in line with my snowboard is just the natural position my body wants to be in without overextending. So when you're reaching your hand down, think about it like this. You're not trying to reach your hand behind you, in front of you. Instead, you're just trying to have your arm come down in the most neutral position as possible, not trying to go and extend and meet it. Just let yourself squat down, keep those shoulders squared, and then extend your arm and have it come out right in front of you. And that's going to end up right by your back foot and right by your head position. If you go and reach too far back, it's going to close off your shoulders. That's a no-go. Too far forward, it's going to just feel weird and not really work. And if you go and put it too far out past you, it's going to make it so your rotation point won't be close enough to your snowboard. So just the most neutral position, the most sensical place to put your hand is the place you want to be at, and it's going to usually be right by your back foot. So instead of thinking of this as snapping a spin, instead think of it as just letting your board naturally try match up with your upper body. So you can really see that I'm not throwing this as a spin because my arm is actually coming the other way. Instead of throwing into the rotation, instead I'm using it to help generate pop. This is partially because the takeoff's so flat, I need to generate a lot of pop out of the tail of the snowboard. And because I'm so leaned over, it's really hard to generate power downwards. And that's really the main reason we're trying to maintain a flat base position, is because if you try to drive power through your snowboard while you're on a toe edge, it's going to make it so your power comes out through an angle. So by keeping our weight more set over a flat base, it lets more efficient power be put straight down, giving us more lift. And that's going to be a really important thing here, is getting lift and not overextending. You're going to be really limited on the range of motion you can actually pop your legs, because if you pop too much, your hand's going to come off the feature. And you can only let your hand come off the feature after it goes and slides off the end of the takeoff. So the maximum amount of pop you can do is the amount of pop you can do with keeping your hand on the snow. Ideally, you're not trying to fully extend it, and that's just because if you do miss and you do come off the snow early, you're not going to have enough time to redirect your axis of rotation. So by going and popping, keeping this a little bend, it's actually a bit of a safety maneuver, just giving you more range of motion. So if you popped a little bit harder, you could extend a little more. And if you popped a little bit shorter, it's okay to be a little bit closer to the ground on this one. This one's a really good one for going and starting less. And that's the next thing that we'll talk about here. The more flat base you are and the more power you put into your tail, the more it's going to kick your feet out. So if you did no pop at all on something this flat, you'd sort of just come around, and it wouldn't look too impressive. But it's from getting that extra bit of power and that extra bit of pop that this trick goes and gets inverted, and it sort of gets the legs over your head. That's also easier on a kickier feature. So how do you generate the rotation on this? It's as simple as having your hand here and then popping. And because your upper body is in this super closed off position, it's going to just naturally rotate you. And because you can use counter rotation in the hips, see how I'm using counter rotation right here? You don't need to worry about the rotation. Just by having your hand here, it will naturally go and pull your body to 90. And from there, we want to go and utilize counter rotation on our snowboard. Counter rotation is when you let your upper body and lower body spin independently by having your upper body spin one way and then lower body spinning the other way. So here you can see that my hand's in this open position, and then I pull it across my body just a little bit, and that's enough to counter rotate my legs in order to finish off that rotation. So when you're doing this trick, don't think of doing it as a spin. All you need to think about is keep your head forward, spotting in front of you, keep your hand on the snow, and try to pop off your tail with as flat a base as possible while maintaining enough bend that you can keep your hand drag. Do that, hold your hand on the snow. This is where speed comes in. If you're going too slow, you're not going to go and have enough height to get the rotation around, and you're going to just sort of fall. So you need to have enough speed for the feature. But from there, you just put the hand, keep the head looking forward towards where you're going, and wait until your hand comes off the end. And once your hand is coming off the snow, utilize a little bit of counter rotation of the hips to go and keep the rotation going, and then keep your spot back uphill, looking back up here. in order to go and disperse and land clean. The reason why we're doing this is because you're going to have a bit of rotation, and when you have rotation and you're trying to land, it's best to have your body preemptively wound up, because if you go and land with your body completely squared or looking downhill, your rotation is going to want to go through your board, and that's why you start seeing people like fluffing out to heels. So make sure to hold that blind landing a little bit, use that counter rotation to disperse it, and that's going to let you hit that toe edge and ride away clean. Because this trick is smaller, it's pretty subtle, it's really important to go and emphasize the parts that make it look good. So popping off the tail, keeping the head forward, dragging that hand, and then holding the spot at the same point, finishing that blind landing so you can dig in the toes. Do that, and it's gonna look good, you're going right away clean, and people are going to be stoked. So give this trick a try, and if you have any questions about it, let me know. I'm also happy to help through my Instagram DMs. I'm just trying to get the information out there. And if you want more detailed coaching, you can always check out my Patreon. On it, I offer video analysis, live coaching, you name it. So give either of those a look if you want, because I'm just out here trying to help the best I can. Enjoy and have a good one. Oh, I was pretty stoked on this one.